Hey guys, I'm going to walk you through how to use TQE's matchup tool. It's a really helpful tool to kind of get a general picture on how the matchups break down for this week. Matchups are broken down by fantasy points allowed to that position as a percentile basis, because too often people will refer to this team as number 4 against quarterbacks as opposed to number 5. And if we're looking at Deshaun Watson's matchup compared to Matt Ryan's matchup, it's nearly identical. This is not a breaking point, but 1 versus 2, as we can see, is a huge gap. Now, so far, this data is as of 2019, so we probably need a bit bigger sample size before we can give definitives. But what you can do is you can come in, you can sort by DraftKings, FanDuel, and NFL.com, which is standard scoring. So PPR, half-point PPR, standard, and then obviously DraftKings has the bonus as well. And you can see everyone's matchup by the week. So red would be a bad matchup, green would be a good matchup. There'll always be a 0 percentile. There'll always be a 100th percentile. And then it'll be, the differences based on everything throughout the course of the week. So, the difference between Marcus Mariota and Sam Darnold's matchup, obviously he ended up getting ruled out in this game, is significant. So, as we go through the running backs, you're going to see the top 2 running backs' performances. So one of the things you want to make sure you're doing is you want to add a little context. So, if the Colts funnel targets to the running back, we want to make sure that we might give a little more of a bump to Deion Lewis in his matchup than Derrick Henry, because we want to make sure that we're doing things right. We at TQE are still looking for the best way to represent that. But these are the top 2 running backs in terms of snaps played on their teams and how they're looking at that week's performance. So as we can go down and we can see who's got the toughest matchup, the Ravens are known for a stifling run defense, so David Johnson's got the worst matchup. The Colts obviously got lit up by Austin Eckler in week 1, so we're looking at Derrick Henry with a great matchup. So the ability to go through that. Wide receiver is actually done by target share. So as the season goes on, you'll get a clearer picture of exactly who the leading target guys are for these teams. But it's essentially, how did the Jaguars do against the leading guy getting target share against them? Pittsburgh do against the second leading target share. Chiefs do against the third leading target share. It's not necessarily by slot. One of the things that I've found a lot of success with in DFS is understanding that certain defenses have philosophies where they want to force the ball to, the worst receiving option, or they want to completely take away the number 1 option on a team. As we can see, as we go down, there's a lot of guys on this list because the wide receiver position is, obviously there's 32 teams. You times that by 3, you're gonna get to a fairly significant number of 96 players that we're looking at in this matchup tool, and it can really, on a quick surface level, help you understand who has some of the best matchups on the week. And obviously, the tight end is the last position as well that you can take a chance on. So one of the things we did was by tight end 1 and by tight end 2. So certain teams will play 2 tight ends, specifically like the Indianapolis Colts or the Philadelphia Eagles. Some teams funnel targets to the tight end 2 as opposed to the tight end 1. So we want to make sure that we're taking a look at that. And any percentile above 50% will be green. Any percentile below 50 percentile will be red. So it's a super helpful overview of the week for who has the best matchups, a quick way to get an understanding of what matchups we're looking to attack for that week.